Today, we want to tackle the topic of curiosity and the importance of fostering it in our children. Curiosity is a skill that helps kids learn about the world around them. Joining me now to tell us how we as caregivers can nurture and not shame curiosity in our kids is Lauren Rogers. She's a certified sexuality educator. Great to have you back on the show.
So
Welcome.
Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, we were talking last time about curiosity in children and what our role as caregivers and parents in that curiosity, that we kind of foster it, nurture it, and never shame it, right?
It is so vastly important. You know, I was listening in on the previous guest that you had here, right? We have a lot of children who are about to transition into such an important stage of life. And as caregivers and caretakers, parents, grandpas, aunts, uncles, we have a responsibility to nurture and not shame curiosity in our children because it plays such a vital role.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so in what ways do we maybe do this? Maybe we don't even realize we're shaming our children,
Right.
but what ways are we doing this?
You know, it is fascinating because I work with adults day in and day out. And when we get to the roots of where their guilt and shame regarding their own bodies, regarding the way they interact with other human beings comes from, wouldn't you know, it goes all the way back to about ages 3 to 7.
Wow.
Between the ages of 3 to 7, I'll give an example of play that is very normal, but then often gets shamed. That is when children play doctor. And I understand the instinct that an adult human being has to walk in on a curious child playing doctor with a sibling and to go, "What are you doing, Johnny?" Right? I understand that because as adults, that would be inappropriate behavior.
Right.
But for a child between the ages of 3 to 7, it is a healthy, curious behavior. And what we do inadvertently when we shame that type of curious behavior, instead of use it as an educational opportunity to talk about consent, to talk about if everyone's not enjoying this, this is not okay, to talk about privacy versus secrecy, to talk about body boundaries, what we do when we just react harshly is we shame.
Yeah.
We give children an opportunity to say, oh, my body, my choices, my curiosity is shameful. And what I see is that become a belief that resides in the bodies of children that goes on well into adulthood.
Wow, that's crazy because when I think about it, I mean that's your natural reaction when they're little and you see them doing certain things. Like they're just curious about the world, they're curious about their bodies, and that's going to continue. So what, as adults and caregivers, what should we be doing instead?
We should nurture that behavior, right? We should really lean in with curiosity and remember that our children do not have our lived experiences as adults. Children, their bodies are just bodies to them. They are doing things out of curiosity, out of this feels good or this feels bad. And I've been on here many times before talking about intuition, helping our children learn how wise their intuition is, and also leaning into this idea that curiosity will become the key to intimacy long into their lives. And so helping them see that play, the outcome of this curiosity, is good and great. We don't want to shame the curiosity. We want to give skills for the body behavior or for the exploration of oneself, right? Maybe that is done in private on one's own, not in public at Thanksgiving dinner, right? These types of things. But what we do when we inadvertently shame the behavior is teach them that play is not good as well. And what I see, again, with grown adults is that our ability to play collapses as we get older. It just falls in on itself.
Yeah, I'm sure that probably comes up in a lot of the conversations that you have with adults.
Yes.
And does it stem from that shame?
It goes all the way back.
Wow.
Shocker, right? As children, we have this natural ability to play. Again, it is what leads to these doctor behaviors, things like that. And we want to nurture that because when we're grown-ups, we don't play a lot.
No.
And then you come see someone like me, and I'm encouraging games and exercises, and I will often see just this deadpan look across a partner's face.
Like how do
I don't want to do that, right? Well, what if somebody thinks I'm silly? Where's this going back to? Our learned childhood experiences.
You have 2 books on the table that we want to talk about that are great resources. Tell me about them.
So at first I have just an inner child workbook. If you hear me talking today and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is uncomfortable, then I really recommend a workbook like this. There are many on the market, but this one is fantastic and goes back to developmental ages, what we should have had. And the other one is all the things you ever didn't want to talk to your kids about sex and sexuality. And it will equip you. It is a funny read. It is comprehensive. It is recommended by pediatricians and psychologists and psychiatrists everywhere.
Okay, and we'll post all of that onto our website and also the Amaze Parents YouTube channel,
gosh.
which is wonderful. I was exploring that earlier today. It is great.
phenomenal.
For all ages, too. Lauren, thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome.
All right, we'll be right back.